And let's see. All right, we're starting here. Let me just get some things in order. We'll get on our way to shutting down the energy field and continuing our, Jediism versus SWTOR. Star Wars SWTOR. Okay. Got it. Oh, sweet. Oh, sweet, yeah. Okay. That way, in case anybody shows up and you participate in the chat, I can address it properly. I'm trying to get into the habit of... Let's see, where am I going at? Trail. Trying to get into the habit of letting Twitter know when I'm doing a live stream. So if you want to know when I'm doing these, I'm keeping Twitter updated on when I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do these. But I'm gonna try to do them around Friday nights, around this time if I can. That's all up and varying thing. I am going in the right direction. So, I know. And, there's a little bit of static. Well, crap in that. I don't know where that static would be coming from. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. If it if it clears up some, let me know. If it's too annoying, let me know, because I'm not gonna do a whole episode if it's all staticky. So feel free to be discerning on that if it's an issue, because yeah, that stuff annoys me, so I imagine it would annoy others. We had an episode with no audio issues. Should have never stopped. Alright, what am I doing down here? I don't remember what I'm doing. No, I appreciate you telling me. It's important to know. It's something to keep in mind, so I know. What am I doing? All right. Yeah, just so I know what's going on and like who can hear what and all that fun stuff. I'm not trying to do the bonus in this. I figure if we're going to do Jediism versus SWTOR, one of the things we can do is, whether or not the bonus is very much game play, and it's just about experience points and leveling up your character and kind of gaining that extra bit of experience and credits. But really, if we're talking about Jedi philosophy, seeking out and defeating flesh raiders, yeah, there's an argument to be made about defense. Taking on a what do you call that? Proactive approach to defense, right? And that you're protecting innocent people by but that's really a dangerous line philosophically speaking. As a Jedi quote, a fictional quote goes, from Luke Skywalker and the Expanded Universe. I forget which book off the top of my head, but he says when you build a philosophy around the ends justify the means. Nope, I forget the rest of that quote. Anyways, he talks about it's a bad thing. Don't do it. It doesn't end well for anybody involved. So we are just trying to complete I don't know if this guy's gonna attack me. We're just trying to complete the the mission, really get into the philosophy, the cutscenes, that kind of stuff. You're not really here for the gameplay. I'm not doing a tutorial on gameplay. We're here for the philosophy, so that's what we'll be doing. So yeah, there we go. This is already known, I think, though. And again, on the audio issues, if it's on voice as well,
you must be the Padawan who slaughters my people.
Let me know.
Misguided attacks change nothing. Your time is over.
Your time is over. Probably not.
My master is invading your command base right now. It's over, Bengal.
He won't find what he's looking for. I'm not there. You executed my apprentice, Caliph. I can feel his death on you. I spent years training him. He was a good man, a principled man. Proud of yourself?
I go with pride is not a fact. Like, he wasn't a good man is a pretty, after again, like Darkseid's not what we're doing. Jediism, I mean, there's gonna be moments throughout this game where our Jedi point of view, like in real life, is actually gonna earn us Darkseid points. I know this. I've been through it. I've been through the game, and I found it interesting, and I like it. But usually these replies are just not something we're gonna get into, as funny as they can be. But pride isn't a factor, right? Like, he wasn't a good man as a statement of fact. Pride isn't a factor, though. I mean, if you bothered to stick through with us this entire time, because I don't keep up on this series very well, we did try to offer a way out, and dude didn't take it. Self-defense. Sorry, man. It's like,
I didn't want to kill the man, but he left me no choice.
There's always a choice. You should have surrendered to the inevitable. Every so-called Jedi on Tython is going to die. That's a promise. Your entire order is weak. You've done nothing to stop the Sith Empire's advances.
I just want to go back to, you always have a choice, he said. And I actually agree with that. You always have a choice. I actually had someone say recently that I have to do what they say. And that's something that automatically popped into my mind. While there's always consequences to your choices, you always have a choice. They may not be good choices, but you always have a choice. The rest of it is just, your basic die Jedi, die Darkseid stuff. It's pretty weak. So turn the tables.
I guess I missed the news about you winning the war.
I can't defeat the Sith until the Jedi are strong again. You people diminish the Force by your very existence. Enjoy this little victory. It's your last.
And of course we know that to be wrong. The Force thrives off of creation through life. So it doesn't matter if life is strong or weak or whatever. However people want, those are obviously things that people use labels of comparison that have nothing to do with absolutely anything except personal perspective. Again, you can use the chat to ask questions. They don't specifically have to be game related, Jediism related, or game related, or questions, or whatever, what have you. You are allowed to give me something to talk about. How about that? Help me out. Help me help you. Or not. Or hang out and watch and listen. It's to my ramblings. And yeah.
I shut down the energy shield. Any word on Master Orgus's mission?
No. My mother, she found peace during your absence. I am now matriarch.
You don't have to go through this alone.
People who say Jedi have no feelings are wrong. Before he left, Master Orgus told me there is no death. There is the Force. He believes our essence lives on when we die and merges with the Force. I hope that's true.
Matriarch, Flesh Raiders broke through our defenses. They did something to our crop fields. They dropped strange machines in the soil. When a scout approached one, he collapsed with sickness. He crawled away from the device and began to recover, but there are many more machines still out there.
Tell your people to stay away from the fields. I'll get rid of these things.
Once again, I'm in your debt. Hurry to the fields. I fear we don't have much time.
Well, we do have a little time because gameplay is what it is. Thankfully, there's no mission timer on this. So there's two things here to touch on, right, with Real Jedi. One, there's the loss. The reason I chose you don't have to go through this alone is because I think that's something that often, that's what the Jedi path is about in Jedi realism, Jediism, whatever label you want to use. That grief is something that hits you, and it doesn't really matter what your beliefs are, you know, whether you believe we all kind of transmute into something, or we have a soul that goes on to another place. That doesn't really matter as much as that's really for the living, right? Like, those kind of beliefs are really for the living to kind of address what happens after death. The departed, they get the answers, they get to know. For us, we have to deal with the grief, so it's better to be there for someone, not lecture them, not give them fortune cookie wisdom, not just like, look, I'm here for you. And when I've gone through, you know, different levels of grief, losing a parent, losing loved ones, as well as just heartbreak in regards to relationships, right? Grief happens on all sorts of levels, and when you go through it, really you just want someone to be there for you. You're not looking really for a lecture or anything like that. So that's why I chose that one. And then you know, the next one was I'll handle this for you. Like, that's a no-brainer. If you can do something and you're in the position to do something, you tend to do it. You know, one of the things that we say in the Jedi path is the distinction between Jedi or the light and the dark, or however, like, whatever labels you want to use, right, comes down to the same philosophy. Doing what you do because you can, and for no other reason. Excuse me. I help out because I can. Or for other people on the flip side of that, right, the people who do malicious or harmful things just because they can, well then, you know, not Jedi. Whatever label you want to use for that, be my guest. I'm not trying to speak for any other paths, but that's for the Jedi, that's kind of where the distinction that we have, you know. What do you do simply because you can? And with Jedi, you know, that's service, that's helping out, that's peace, diplomacy, things of that nature. Every once in a while, we're not perfect. We do things that, you know, every once in a while we're allowed to get a little petty, you know. It's not really something we aspire to do, but it can happen, you know. Get your meditation on, get back to basics, you know. Readjust, get back to your Jedi game. So yeah, if you noticed last episode, I said I was just going to update my character, do that, put him to level 70, so we can just focus on the main missions, so we can just talk about, like, the majority of the philosophy that pops up. For that, I'll probably change that for a quest on Alderaan, because there's a quest on Alderaan that I really enjoy and that I use at the Jedi Living forums for our teaching, for our academy. There's an example there that I use all the time. that I really want to do, because I really like what the person says in regards to morals and ethics and them being selfish, and I really like it. So we're gonna get into that. So yeah, that's gonna happen. Sorry, we got Talon chiming in here. I don't think anything anyone said to me while grieving was comforting. However, willingness to be there is. Yeah. I mean, grief is tough in and of itself. It's pretty horrible. It's like depression and anxiety and things like that. You really can't say much to a person going through it within the moment. All you can really do is be like, "Yo, I'm here," and allow that person to use the tools that they have. You give them the tools prior. You know, like the Jedi path, the Jedi philosophy is all about building foundation. People think it's something that you do in the moment, but it's really about building that foundation and building the Jedi voice in your own head and building the tools and filling up your tool belt or tool box, whatever you want to call it, with Jedi ideals that you can use when the bad times hit. But during that, before that, when things are like chill or good or even great, we want to build, the practices and the tenets and all of that stuff to become Jedi. So when the bad times hit, we have that foundation to rely on. Because no one can save us but ourselves. Like, no one's gonna say something in that moment that's really just gonna, take all that pain and those feelings away. Those are something that's part of being alive. That's just something you're gonna have to experience and go through. And there's lessons there too, but we still need to rely on the Jedi practices. Those things help us through those times, and it's when the Jedi path, the Jedi philosophy really shines, is when you lean on it in the dark times. But you do have to build it while things are good.
I destroyed the machines poisoning your crops.
I saw how you suffered out there. And what you did was more than brave. It was heroic. Please, take a token of my people's honor. I'm sorry it can't be more.
I go with Jedi don't need rewards just because, Jedi aren't the charity. It's actually a lesson that we teach at Jedi Living. Jedi aren't the charity. Yeah, we all need a helping hand at times in life, for sure. There's going to be a time where you're going to be knocked down, and it's okay to reach out your hand. It's okay to ask for help and things like that. But Jedi aren't the charity. We don't need it to survive, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Just not perpetually, I guess. We all need a helping hand, but we aren't. I hope that makes sense. Jedi aren't the charity. That's whatever, and I think that fits into Jedi don't need rewards. It's nice. The thought in and of itself is nice and appreciated. Some cultures, you gotta be, some cultures you can't turn down something like that because it's offensive, and Jedi diplomacy comes into thing. That's all. That's situation to situation. So you're gonna have to be aware of that and be mindful of that. But yeah, I don't think suffering or whatever. If you choose, every choice has its consequences, good or bad. So if you're like, I'm gonna help out, and then if that turns out to be a tougher task than you originally planned, or it's exactly as you thought it would be, but you offered it up anyways, then that just comes with the territory of being a Jedi, being help, being of service.
I'm sure you can find better use for it elsewhere.
You've done more than any outsider ever has. Why would you face death again and again for people you barely know?
Either one of these are good. I've done this option before, the dark side, romance option. I don't really find it dark side, but I don't find romance dark side. And George Lucas has been on record that Jedi are not celibate. That is really a misunderstanding of a lot of the fiction writers who have continued it on, that they've misunderstood what he was saying when he said Jedi aren't allowed attachments. And he's spoken on that. He's on record about that. So I won't get too much into it, but I don't find that dark side. What's dark side is the attachments. It's the idea of possession, of when you think you own a person or that they owe you something, and that's when you start getting into that greed and that unwillingness to let go and things of that. When you start thinking you possess a person and control their choices, that's when you get into the dark side. Everything up till that point is all good. You can love freely and openly, and you can love with all your heart. But and that's not, dark side. That's not evil, right? Like, so I've done it before. I don't count it as dark side, but for the point here, all these answers are really good in my opinion, because I care about people. Obviously, like the Jedi care about life and this and that, but ultimately it's what Jedi do. It's in our doctrine, it's in our philosophy. We are of service. We help people who are in need, defend those in need. And in fiction, that's usually with a lightsaber or the Force. In real life, that's usually just standing up or saying something or speaking your mind or donating or something. Sometimes that's what you need to do to defend those in need, is simply be a voice. So yeah.
My order's greatest honor is to protect and serve others.
You serve your ideals well, even though you don't believe in accepting rewards. I insist you take this one. I should go inform everyone when the danger is over.
Cultural thing right there, so you accept it. And it's a game thing, so no choice.
Finally put the Flesh Raider base out of commission. How are things on your end?
I spoke to your old Padawan over the Hollow. He's doing all this so he can destroy the Sith.
And it's not Sith himself. Good. If I can get to him, reason with him. At the Flesh Raider command base, I found coordinates to a number of secret camps. Too many to send only Jedi Masters. One camp is in the ruins of Upper Kaleth. That patrol you fought earlier was based there. Now's your chance to finish them off.
I'm just going with the middle one. There's no real Jedi philosophy to that. I mean, like any of these would do. You could be a smartass about deserve extra credit if you want. Jedi are allowed to be snarky. That's part of our Jedi philosophy too. You're allowed to have a sense of humor. That's fine. Obi-Wan Kenobi is proof positive of that. We shouldn't split up. Fair thing to say, given the circumstances, but the situation has already been explained, that there's too many places to check out, so...
What if I run into your old Padawan?
If you see Bengal, retreat and contact me immediately. Be careful in those ruins. You haven't explored them all. Contact me when your mission's complete. May the Force be with you.
Yeah. And off we go. And still no questions or comments from the peanut gallery. Alright, guys. Cool deal. Where are we going next? Right, Kaleth. So I knew that. No? Alright. Also, if you have ideas, videos, Ask a Jedi, all that stuff, remember that you can always throw that stuff out there. Meditation requests. We got one recently about the Crystal Code and doing that for like an hour-long thing. I don't like just making them an hour long, so I tend to redo the whole video. So that's why it takes longer to get out requests than simply re-editing it time frame wise. It's also usually to the chagrin of the person who asked. Like, they probably want that video untouched, thing. They just wanted an hour long, and I should probably do that, but I'm not going to, because I like to overdo everything. Plus, I've been wanting to redo it anyways. I really like that video. But we do have, I do have a list of meditations that I'm looking to get out. If you like our meditations on YouTube, I am slowly, very slowly, starting to get them on Insight Timer. So that way you can listen to them and have the screen like closed off. Like some people don't like to leave. If you don't have YouTube Premium, where you can turn off the screen, then insight timer allows you to have your screen off on your phone while you're listening to like meditations and things like that. So that might be a benefit. That might be something you want. There you go. Now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Is it still staticky?
Edlen perfia kallin kop keret. A tenger kellet wiesel mi az.
That's why I'm here.
Master Orgus sent me to drive back the Flesh Raiders.
Os zes hanjot a kik neka neve. Estavo la meg minni uge. Oze disazos. Homa levan. Lerega mostu. Latlan felet gekom es elenga agiom.
They go out, then I have to stop them.
Powerful or not, there's no one else coming.
Is as Allah soni parton as Allah to pisal.
Well, I never liked seeing a Jedi die. That's why Attack of the Clones is my least favorite. Well, I mean, like the last, like Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, those are like my least favorite Star Wars movies because, you know, the number of Jedi that die in them. Just not really happy about it. Obviously that should factor into a movie because that's the whole point. It's the plot, it's the story, that's how it moves along, but there you go. Easy peasy. If the audio gets worse, or if it gets annoying, feel free to let me know.
The Flesh Raider camp's out of commission, Master, but they were all Force users. They killed a Jedi named Lauta. His body is in these ruins. What should I do?
We'll reclaim our fallen later. Just got a distress call from the Twi'lek settlement. They spotted Bengal Moor. Our forces are spread out dealing with the secret camps. We're the only ones who can handle this. I'm on my way to the settlement. Meet me there.
Suspicious. Who's buying it? I'm not buying it. Alright. Slowly getting there. Slowly getting there, guys. I tend to have a time limit on how long I do these videos. I tend to have two, like either 30 to 60 minutes, one of the two is where I go. We are coming up on the 30-minute mark, and I might be stopping it there. I want to see where we're at first. See if we get some good discussion going on.
Master Orgus responded to your distress call. I was to meet him here. What's happened?
Nothing. We didn't send any distress call. Things have been quiet since you left. I haven't seen or spoken to Master Orgus.
That's very suspicious.
Master Orgus should have gotten here ahead of me.
I'm sure it's a misunderstanding. Your master will turn up. Why don't you stay a while? You must be exhausted.
Well, that's not very.
Stop it! What are you doing?
Matriarch, step aside. Handing over the boy's master wasn't enough.
Never
this
is.
Padawan has to die.
I told you to leave him alone. That was the pact.
Bengalmore refused your terms. This is to save our people.
Probably not.
What did you do to my master? Where's Bengalmore?
Bengalmore came to me, said he'd end the Flesh Raider attacks if we gave him your master.
He asked us to kill you too. But I said no. I told him we'd keep you here. You'd be safe. And my people would have a protector.
If we don't do what we're told,
That's not how that works.
War will kill us all.
He'll kill you anyways.
Bengal Moore is a monster. When he's done using you, he'll kill everyone.
Don't resist. It'll only make things harder.
Yeah. Should have used the Force. Should have used the mind trick. There's a reason why I don't use. Well, I obviously don't use it in real life. We don't have that ability. Obviously, you could be persuasive in real life. You can do that, but we don't have magic mind tricks to take away people's free will. And that's why I always have an issue with the Jedi mind trick, because it is absolutely taking away someone's right to choose, someone's free will. And I don't know. Me personally, I'm like, you have the right to make your wrong choices. However, in this circumstance, and in throughout Star Wars, you do see examples like old Ben Kenobi with Luke and the droids, where he uses the mind trick, and it's very much do that or a fight ensues, people are gonna die. Is that really better than just making someone make a better decision in the moment, even though it's against their free will, their choice? It's one of those ethic things, and that's something we teach at Jedi Living, where we say every Jedi has to kind of come to their own conclusion, right? There is no specific answer to be had. It's everybody has to come to their own conclusion. But if you look at Jedi honor life, Jedi respect all life, or respect life in all forms, then clearly you should use the mind trick and preserve life. And I always, when I come to that point, I always forget that you have to do it then, that there is no chance to do it later down the road. Like, you don't get to be like, oh, okay. Like, after they're like, don't make this harder. Like, then I would do the mind trick, because you can see it's totally going to go south, that reason's not going to work, that telling the truth and just being upfront with them is not going to work. Then I would use it, but game being what it is, should have used it. Oh well. Failure on my part, right? Or something of that nature. What do we got? I've been using the mind trick every chance I get in game, but you make a good. I get that. Yeah, like. Like in the game, I get it. Like it, and there's funny parts too when you use it. There's funny parts too when you use the mind trick in the game and things of that nature. And sometimes, like there is just it's better to trick someone in that situation than to kill them, right? Like that's basically your options there. Either you're gonna have to kill them, or you get to mind trick them to go on and have a good day. Clearly, the mind trick is the better option. And yes, verbal judo. If anybody has read the book, it's a decent book. It's not a bad book. It's worth picking up for sure. It's on our recommended reading list. And that again, that's probably as close as we're gonna come to the Jedi mind trick. But for sure. But what is? Oh yeah, Witcher 3. That's a good way to approach it.
Why didn't they listen to me?
Especially with all the
It wasn't
time
supposed to be like this.
to help out the villagers.
I was going to save you. Save us all.
So one, both of these bring up good. That's just insulting, obviously. You don't have to be insulting, obviously. She already knows. She already feels bad for her decisions. There's no need. When someone makes a bad decision, there's no need for the "I told you so" or "idiot" or any of that. Like, they know they've made a bad choice. Now's not the time to like rub that in. Like that's. If you're like me, you beat yourself up enough. Like you don't need critics. You're your own worst critic. anything they do is not even going to be harsh enough that you say to yourself, it's just not worth it. There's just no point. Both of these other options bring up good points. One, she betrayed someone that was trying to help them out anyways. You still betrayed someone. And then, like, what about the Jedi? What about the big picture here? Like, even if you save one Jedi, yeah, you saved me. I'm not going to stay away. I'm not going to just hang out in your village and be your quote-unquote protector. I'm a Jedi. I got things to do. I got a galaxy. The concerns of the Jedi are much bigger than a planet or a community. They are, you know, universal. So, yeah, that wasn't going to work. It just wasn't going to work out.
Banglemore wants to destroy my order, and you handed him my master.
There's still time to save them. Banglemore took Orgus to someplace called the Forge. Reactivate your droid. It might know where to find them. You can forgive me, can't you?
Your crimes are great. Being sorry won't save you. Whatever, man. Like, we all make poor decisions. Forgiveness is, I say, and there's a quote from a movie I really like that says, people say forgive and forget. I say forget about forgiving and just accept. I find acceptance to be a much more healthier approach. You can accept and you can move forward and still understand, well, this person's decision making may not be on the highest point. As Talon said, it's hard to put your faith in someone who's already showing you they're not worthy of it, you know. So, like, forgiveness means different things to different people. I tend to go acceptance is my word for it, you know. But, you know, for the sake of the game.
Done, but I understand.
There it is.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. Tell me what I can do to make this right.
Dedicate yourself to goodness. That's my thing. Like, people are like, give up your position or whatever. I say, you know, make amends. That's what we do in the Jedi path. That's what we do in life. You make a mistake, you know. It's most times when we make a mistake or we make a bad decision, we can correct it on some level. There is course correction that we can do and go through. So, course correction, you know.
Learn from this mistake. Spend your life atoning for what you've done.
I won't waste this chance. That's a promise. I should tell my people what's happened. We'll bury and mourn our dead. I hope you find your master.
Yeah, that's my bad. Going back to the other games, like, I do the same thing, like, with, like, Mass Effect. I did the same thing with Commander Shepard. You know, I treated it as a Jedi. You know, like, that's how I played the character. And I just bring Jedi philosophy into basically everything I do, though, so I don't know if that's, like, a surprise or whatever.
Banglemore took my master someplace called the Forge. Do you know where that is?
Yeah. Stop rubbing it in, man. I made the wrong choice. I should have mind tricked him. I get it. The Flesh Raiders did it? Yeah, no. They betray. It's not. That is a shifting of blame to say they betrayed us. I mean, it's true, but that's a shifting of blame. No time for explanations. Is it just denial of blame? Like, you're just like, I'm not gonna do it. And then that's just a straight up lie. So, I mean, yeah. Should have mind tricked them. My bad.
These Twi'leks deactivated you and tried to kill me. I had to defend us.
Yeah. There was other ways, buddy. There was other ways. The thing with I'm gonna pause right here because the same with Evil Shepherd. Like, BioWare all has the same thing where it doesn't matter what they use. Like, even in Jade Empire, I couldn't play the Way of the Closed Fist character, like, philosophically speaking, just because BioWare's dark or closed fist or evil or Sith or renegade options were just usually so over the top and just so, I mean, like, yeah, good for a laugh, I guess, in some parts, but sometimes, I mean, like, just so over the top, like, jerk to the 10th level, you know, like I could never end up playing long term with that. Some decisions, like I said, like, and there's gonna be times in this game where I get dark side points, you know, that's gonna happen. Like I got renegade points there, and same Witcher 3. Sometimes you make a decision that's not like morally acceptable or whatever. Like same thing. Like there's always times where you have to make a choice, and the game's morality scale judges it differently than you. Like BioWare has a really interesting and fun way of skewing it, but it's definitely questionable at times, but that should make this fun.
I am A4PO, Jedi Archivist. How may I help you?
Transmit everything you know about the Forge to my droid T7.
That area is considered highly dangerous. May I inquire why you need this data?
Sure.
Flesh Raiders captured Master Orgus and took him there.
By the stars, what perfectly awful timing. The Temple Masters are all indisposed fighting Flesh Raiders. I will alert them immediately, but they may be unable to assist you.
Didn't ask.
Transmitting data now.
Alright. Cool deal. Where are we at on time? Which one? Where's the T7 one? Yeah, we'll, I think we'll finish it up. I think we're alright for that. Oops. Not you. Boop. There we go. Yeah, I think we're good for that. Maybe. I don't know. What do we got? We're about 40 minutes in. Yeah, I think we're alright. But yeah, I mean, BioWare is great with it. Has a lot of fun with it, and Shepard definitely had. I mean, that's why male or female Shepard doesn't really matter. What am I doing here? I am going to the Forge. Except great. Going to the Forge. Like either one, yeah. Like the personalities were over the top. They had some good writing in there, so that's why I like BioWare. They got some good writing. They usually got some good writers on their team. So, all right, let's see. Where are we at? What am I running for? Don't need to be running. Almost it. We'll finally be off of Tython. That's why I'm pushing it. Normally, I think I would have stopped after the Twi'lek one, but we need to get off of Tython. Yeah, I haven't played for a while either. I think, I don't know, Star Wars is one of those, this one especially is one of those weird ones where I enjoy the story on a lot of them and things, but their expansions kind of got a little away from me. They have the new one. I have end game characters, obviously, and they have that new expansion coming out, so I'm looking forward to that and exploring that and seeing what they do with it. But they've been so over the map with the direction of the game and everything. But I really enjoy the story. I really enjoy the exploration you can do. I really have fun with the base game of it. So yeah, I mean, like if bit interests you, jump back in. We have like a guild. Talon has more information on that, but we have a guild. No one ever uses it because we're all busy doing our own things. This character's not even in the guild, so like that's an issue that will need to be changed at some point, I guess. But yeah, like that's something that helps if you don't have one. If you're restarting and you don't know anybody in it, you can. Our guild is open for Jedi living people. It is open for our members, students and whatever have you. It is open for people of Jedi living specifically. Again, it's kind of quiet, but we got a lot of perks, so oh, you're in the guild. There you go. Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun. It can be, exploration. It's all about taking notes, in my mind, But yeah, have fun with it. Like Sith, also on the other side, is fun. Like playing a Sith character, but trying to be like Jedi with it. I found that to be really a fun thing. And then with the way end game kind of goes, you really get to determine like how far you go with that, So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I recommend if you have the time, and it tends to be cheaper than other stuff. Don't forget though, November, Fallen Order comes out, and that's probably going to take up some time. I know that's where my time's going to go in November. That's why I'm trying to get a project done before that, because I know that's what I'm going to want to do with my free time when I'm not working, is I'm going to want to do that. So yeah, I'm trying to get that done. Except today was a pretty unproductive day, and then I'm here instead of spending an hour writing, I'm spending an hour doing a video. But YouTube content has to be created, yo. Can't forget the people who build our community and who make our community, Plus, it's just fun. I like doing this stuff. And it's a lot easier than making meditation videos. Have I mentioned that? I probably mentioned that. Speaking of, how is that going? The project? It's going. It's daunting. It's going. I'm making progress. I am putting in time and work, and I am but it's huge, man. The project's huge. I've tried to do some shortcuts in relation to, because this thing said I've tried to do some shortcuts. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Does that help? That did not help at all. That light does not help whatsoever. The project's going. It's tough. It's big. But it's worthwhile, man. The more I work on it, the more I write on it, the more I'm like, this can be something. This can help people. This can be the Jedi thing that I've been wanting to do. It's even had me thinking about contacting my literary agent, my publishing agent, with it. That's how stoked I am about it. Is I think I got a real chance here. So I've thought about recontacting my literary agent and being like, nah, this is the one. Forget that other one we were shopping around. This is the one. But I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think because that takes time. That's a whole process. You have Fallen Order coming out in November. You have Rise of the Skywalkers in December. And I'd really like to get my project out and done by that time. Edited and everything. I really want it out by that time. And I don't know, it gives me about a month to really get it done. I don't know if I can. There's a lot of chapters that aren't written yet. They're formulated, but they're not written yet. There's still a lot of writing and a lot of work to be done. A lot of citations to be done. A lot of things that I want to add in. I want to say things, have acknowledgement sections that I need to address and things like that. So I really want it to be done around that time, because the timing, will really work out, and I think it's worthwhile. And then it leads into 2020. And, November is also when Disney Plus comes out, and we get Mandalorian, we get the last season of the Clone Wars TV show. And so going into 2020, Star Wars and Jedi hype should be pretty good. Then we'll have in 2020 or 2021 the Kenobi series on Disney Plus. So looking forward to that. And I think, again, like that, I'm just trying to like ride that momentum, because I really think it's going to be worthwhile. I really think it's going to help. I gave someone who's going through a difficult time that what I'm working on actually addresses. One of the chapters actually addresses, and they read it and they were like, "This is exactly what I was looking for," and things like that. So that's what I don't know. I'm really excited about it. I am working on it, I promise. But yeah, I am excited about it. It is slow going though. It is slogging sometimes. It has been tough. And then, with work, 40 hours a week, physical, labor job, physically intensive job, it's tough to keep going. And then I have my own Jedi practices, right? Like, I can't just be the teacher and sit on my butt and write a book. Like, I still need to do my meditations. I still need to do my workouts and things like that, because if I don't, the mentality slips a bit. Like, the practices are the foundation. I use the good days for the bad days, as we talked about. All right, let's finish this up. Let's get off Tython.
I sensed you coming.
Ooh.
Your fear betrayed you.
Yeah.
You're weak, like my old master. You will fall.
Fear
with
isn't a
him.
weakness. Fear is not a weakness. Don't ever let anybody tell you fear is a weakness. We all feel fear. And that I will tell you about, because it's my preview chapter of the book. So yeah, in case as someone said, it sounds like a guide or a book. It's a book that I'm working on. I always try to be vague about it, but really, what else am I going to do? Like, create an app or something? That's not my skill set. It is a book. The chapter, like, you can always preview chapters and stuff. The very first chapter addresses fear, and how that's fear and excitement are really the different sides of the same coin. The only difference between like anxiety or fear and excitement is what you imagine the outcome to be. So the difference between anxiety and excitement is just what you imagine the outcome to be. Like with this book, I sometimes still have anxiety where, like, because the outcome could be Disney feels I've stepped on their toes and decides to shut me down completely. That would be anxiety. And excitement is, no, this book can help people, and you picture the outcome being people actually getting the book and being like, dude, I'm a Jedi. Right? Like, I approach my life, my daily life, as a Jedi now because of this book. Bam. Excitement. So yeah. I'm gonna finish this up. Obviously, thank you for joining us. For those of you that have to leave, obviously an hour is a long time to sit on a computer and watch a YouTube video. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys chiming in and getting involved in the chat. I like that. And I'm just trying to get us moving along. That's why this video is taking longer than who's watching this vlog. Okay. Anyways, let's finish this up. But yeah, fear is not a bad thing. We overcome our fear. It's what we do. We face it head on. We accept it. We understand it. We understand its information for ourselves. You can be afraid and still do the right thing and still move forward. So,
What happened to you on Coruscant? Why have you turned against the Jedi?
Not the Jedi. The sick, spineless cowards that have taken their place. The traitors who let the Sith slaughter millions. You worked on Coruscant. You never saw our greatest cut down or watched the temple burn. I escaped that destruction to see my own master surrender to the Sith. They exterminated us, and he gave up.
I find parallels here between this and the community, the Jediism community, I guess, where people get disillusioned with the community, and then, go this route, and it just doesn't work out. It just doesn't work out. Again, ends don't justify the means. You really gotta build the whole approach, the Jedi method. Jedi intent plus Jedi action equals Jedi outcome. You have to have the intent and action together. You can't just, you can't allow your pain to blind you and then create more pain because you feel it's justified. That just creates a cycle of hate. It doesn't work.
You're wrong about Master Orgus. He's training me to defeat the Sith.
Weapons are only as strong as those who created them. The weak will be sacrificed here to make the Forge stronger. The Jedi Order must be reborn from ashes.
Sure. Done and done. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil, right? Same nonsense. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Where's Sky Guy Pat when you need him, man? He could defend his freaking Anakin crybaby character.
You've won. Why has the Force guided me to this defeat? You're stronger than any Jedi I've known.
That's not.
You could redeem the Order and destroy the Sith. I
Not
understand. You are the weapon I came to forge.
That's egotistical.
You don't have a destiny, Bengal. You're sick. You need help.
Don't deny the truth. Think. How else could you have beaten me?
By being a
I've
Jedi.
spent a lifetime learning the paths to power. That knowledge is now yours. Let me leave Tython and prepare the galaxy for your ascendance.
Didn't help you.
I will deliver the gifts you need to reclaim your destiny.
It didn't help you.
You'll get the help you need, Bengal. But you can't leave here.
I do like that. Just straight knocks out. I do like that one. That's this is alright. We're almost there. We're almost done here.
I must have
Hour-long
you to thank
video.
for being alive.
I captured Bengal Moore, Master. He's resting quietly.
That's one way
Done
to
a
put it.
great thing. He deserves a second chance. The horrors he witnessed on Coruscant Broken destroyed the gentle Padawan I trained. You, however, faced a challenge beyond any trial I could assign. There's nothing more I can teach you. All that's left is for you to enter the Forge and construct your own lightsaber.
And that's the that's the reason why I knocked him out. To be specific with that is because when you do consider that this is just a person who saw a really bad thing, had a really bad experience. He saw an order that he loved and held in high regard destroyed around him. He watched people die. He watched buildings explode. He watched his home be destroyed. Everything he had known and loved was destroyed in front of his eyes, and he was basically left for dead. That's gonna leave a mark. That's gonna affect your judgment. That's gonna lead you to some dark thoughts and some dark times. So yeah, like again, if we're gonna use the word forgiveness, that's the time for forgiveness and for understanding. See, that's what. Not even forget. Understanding, acceptance, understanding, embracing a person's experience and understanding how they arrived at it. You don't have to condone it. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to say I would have done the same. But certainly you can have some empathy and help lead them to a better conclusion and a better way forward.
Tremendously honored.
There's no substitute for the weapon you create yourself. Normally we make Padawans gather materials themselves, but you've proven enough. These are all the physical components. The rest will come from your mastery of the Force. I'll carry Bengo back to the Jedi Temple and get him help. Meet me there when you're ready.
It's a long hike, man. Alright, well I'm gonna do this just because I really like the lightsaber sequence, but then I'm probably gonna end the live stream off of that, and we can pick up when I have to address the council, and we can get off this rock and go through Coruscant thereafter and see what new lessons await us then. So if you want to stick around and just see the lightsaber thing, I just really like the music. It's a good time to get a quick Jedi meditation on. Like here you go. Okay, ready? Let's do this.
This weapon will be a light in the darkness.
Should have left the music on, man. Should have turned the music on for that scene. The music really is that Star Wars music, you know. It really plays into it. Really does a good job. Let me see something real quick. Alright, we're all good. No substitute for the lightsaber you make yourself, huh? I think that's incorrect. Alright. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to report back to the... Oh, I'm just going to quick travel back. You don't need to stick around for that. So, yeah, what I assume in the thing... I know you're just joking around, Talon, but what I assume is he just grabbed Bangle's, like, lightsaber and was like, here's the components, man. Like, you know, like, how many broken lightsabers has this guy carried around? You gotta remember the Padawan you met in the very beginning when you were like, yo, let me get his lightsaber. And he's like, no. You know, like there's lightsaber components. There's Bangle's lightsaber, you know, his own lightsaber. So yeah, he's probably got replacement parts or something. So I don't know. But all right, everybody, I'm cutting it here. Thank you for watching. Thanks for participating in the chat. Thanks for sticking with us this entire time. And we're going to I'm gonna end it here. We'll see you about next Friday doing it. But again, I have this project that I'm working on, this book that I'm working on that I really want to get done, and putting it out there to get it done by December oof, that's a lot, especially with like I said, Disney Plus and all that stuff coming out. Those are time sinks, man. I gotta watch The Mandalorian. I'm really excited about that show. The Clone Wars, of course, Rise of Skywalker, Fallen Order. All that stuff is all sort of time sinks there. But also good Jedi study material, good stuff to dig into, right? So yeah, and so hopefully we have something for you. Hopefully I have announcements for you. We redid the website so you could stay tuned in easier for what's going on with our social media, like videos and things of that nature and stuff like that. So jediliving.com if you want to check it out and stay up to date with all our social media stuff. We have the Facebook page as always. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for sticking around. Thanks everybody, new subscribers, old subscribers, everybody. And may the Force... Wait, no, wait, I'm not there yet. Hang on. There we are. May the Force be with you.